All right, time to roll up the sleeves. Today we're talking about Notion. And before I jump into how I use Notion specifically, I want to talk about the idea of the second brain. And this is a concept sort of popularized by other YouTubers like Abdaal and Tiago Forte. And the central idea behind a second brain is that our brains are good at some things like abstract thinking and creativity and art, but they're bad at other things like remembering. And we take notes because we want to remember our thoughts in the past. We want to remember how we thought about something, how we felt about something. And by using technology to help us take notes, we can create awesome repositories of information that we can return to in the future to help us do what we do best, which is that creativity, which is that video making, that art making. And so by having better note-taking tools, we're helping us do what we really want to be doing better. So today I want to show you what Notion is, how I use it, and then I'm going to transition to the principles behind why I use it in the way that I do. Let's do it. All right, so welcome to my Notion page. It's called the Life Dashboard. This is sort of the headquarters of my little Notion world. And here at the top, you can see links to other pages that resemble this one. And here below, you see a place for an inbox with a brain dump. And lastly, sort of a to-do list task database that I have at the bottom here. And how Notion is set up is it's built by pages. And so this is a page right here that you're looking at. This Life Dashboard is a page. And it's really easy to create a new page. You just type the slash and then write page here. And if you click on this, you'll see what a new page looks like. There's absolutely nothing on it. You give it a title, and then you can write whatever you'd like. So every page sort of starts as a blank document like this, and you create pages within pages. So it creates a big hierarchy of pages throughout your Notion workspace. So at the top here, you can see all the pages I've created, or the buckets in my life that I found most helpful. And so the top one, this is video. This is for everything related to video making. This is my working documents, my scripts. For work, I have a whole bunch of pages associated with what I'm learning at work and what my current priorities are. This library is a collection of all the podcasts, books, movies I've watched and my notes about them. The projects is sort of the side hustles, different things, ideas I've had over the years about things to create. The Berlin bucket list, that's pretty self-explanatory, things I got to do while I'm here. Personal, this is sort of for self-reflection and these sorts of things. Now, these are the biggest buckets in my life, but if I go into this other tab, you can see these other things that I found helpful, like travel planning, fitness, foods and recipes, life logistics, guitar learning, jokes, wish lists. And these are all things that I've sort of created over time as I've recognized a need for them. These ones in the other category are not super important, but I've created them nonetheless because they've been helpful, and it's easy to just throw them in this others tab. So let's first jump into this videos page. If we jump in here, you can see I've organized it in a similar way. We have sort of our areas at the top, which has links to other pages that are nested inside this one. And these are all repositories of information about all these topics, about brand, about YouTube, about photo shoots I want to do, about videography, lessons I've learned. And here you can see the inbox where I sort of have things that I haven't yet categorized in those pages yet. And here you see the video ideas database. If I go into here, what this is a list of all the videos that I've either worked on or I am working on. And if you click into one of them, for example, the Goodbye Harvard video, this is a database view. And if you click into one, you can see all the working documents associated with it. So you can see all the scripts and everything that went into creating that video. And I know this was super quick, but now I want to give you a sense of what my work page looks like. If I jump into work, you can see I do product marketing, and you can see all the different categories here that I found helpful. We have product marketing, knowing the user, global PMing, personal feedback, ops, and these are sort of the buckets that I've used to better categorize and help me in my work. In the Thinking Bigger tab, I have things like the vision, my work principles, life lessons, company culture, wisdom from other people in the company, and this has been really helpful for me as I work. This is where I do most of the work. I'll be working every day, giving myself to-do lists in the inbox, and then these repositories at the top are where I categorize information if I decide that I want to remember something. And at the bottom of this document, if I go down, you see things like my priorities of the day. This is what I use on a daily basis. And at the bottom, I have sort of a to-do database where I have future tasks that I want to do. And the last area I want to show you, I also acknowledge how that was pretty quick, is the library. So if I jump into the library here, as I said before, this is the repository of notes about different media I've watched and listened to and read over the years. And so the media menu is things that I want to watch in the future. And so whenever anyone recommends anything, I put it in here. I say the title of the thing, the type of thing, who recommended it. And it's really easy to create databases like this. If I go back to the main library, you can see in something like podcasts, whenever I watch a new podcast, I put it in here. And within each of these database entries, I have my notes about what I take away from this podcast. And so, for example, this is one by Tim Ferriss on the Tim Ferriss Show about self-help and finance. Yay. He was talking to Mr. Money Mustache here, and I sort of have my notes about that. And so I have this for all the television shows I watch, for all the movies, for all the podcasts, even for conversations that I've had. And so I really use this as a place to centralize that type of knowledge. And so now I've given you sort of a little sneak peek at each of these different categories or pages in my life, whether it's the videos, the work, the library. And now I just want to jump in and actually address more structural points of how I use this system I've created for myself. My first point here is that every page has its structure. And I came across this structure. I sort of created it for myself after a bit of time using the platform. The structure is to have the links at the top, to have an inbox where I write sort of my working notes of the day. You see, I started this morning, I was like, all right, so I'm making a video about Notion. I would type in what I'm thinking, whatever comes to mind. It's sort of a place where there are no mistakes. It can be messy. And then every once in a while, I'll go through and clean it up and organize everything into those repositories of information above. I found that I had a lot of to-do list items in my inbox. So that's why ultimately I created sort of a tasks database that I put at the bottom of every one of my major pages. A second important point to note is that all of these pages are dynamic, meaning that I didn't envision for my life to be organized in this way until I actually just started categorizing things. And so in this way, whenever I have a note that I don't know where to put it, I can create a new page for that. And so over time, I've developed this sort of huge hierarchy of information that works for me. And it wasn't something that I planned at the start, but it's something that's really grown to accommodate what I really need, which I think is really important because it means that every part of your Notion workspace is essential and necessary to you. All right, so let's take a step back. I want to return to that idea we started with, the idea of Notion as a second brain. And what I love about this tool is how personalized it is. I don't imagine that you would want to copy my system because you will have a system that you create for yourself that works far better than mine would for you. And this is exciting for me because with the system I've created, I know that every day as I update my inbox and I update these folders, I'll be contributing to this resource that's going to be so helpful for the future things that I want to create. By writing down all the video ideas, the good ones, the bad ones, the weird ones, I know that over time I'll approach better topics that are really engaging and make me really proud of what I've put together. I know by remembering what I read and what I watch that in the future I'll be able to access these things and learn from the best as I'm trying to create. And also from work, as I write down all my feedback and the things that I just do wrong and the things that don't go well, I know this is an important step in remembering and becoming better at what I want to be good at. And it's also imperfect. It's an imperfect process because we're imperfect people and the ideas that we have about things aren't going to often be particularly insightful. But I think it's through taking notes every day, through sifting through all the bad thoughts that once in a million times you'll come up with something that you want to actually keep. And I find that idea inspiring. And Notion allows you to track everything. So when you have that moment of insight, you'll have that thing to keep with you and to hold and really get the most out of. So I want to thank you for watching today. Thanks for bearing with me as I talk through my Notion space. And have a good day. Let me know if you want to hear more about my Notion. I could talk about it for days. So please let me know if that would be interesting. Thanks again for watching and have a good one.